Hi guys! So today I am doing a tutorial for you. It is a Valentine's Day rose-inspired tutorial, but it's very glitzy, very glamorous. I've got sparkles going on my eyes and a lot of pink, berry, kind of a berry lip and a kind of neutral berry toned cheek. This look is 100% drugstore, 100% cruelty-free, and I even used all drugstore cruelty-free brushes for every step. So if you guys want to see all the little details and all the little bits and pieces I used in this look, then just keep watching. Alright, so first things first, you're going to want to prime your eye. I'm going to be using the Milani eyeshadow primer. This is my favorite. And just all over the lid, from lash line to brow bone. And also under the lower lash line. There we go. Then for a base today, I'm going to be using the Jordana 12-Hour Made to Last pencil in Eternal White. It's just a white matte eyeshadow base, or cream eyeshadow, all over the lid. And then also I'm taking it under the brow bone to kind of help me highlight my brow bone area. And then just blend it out. If it gets a little crazy on the outer edge, because I tend to over-apply it, I'll just clean it up with a makeup wipe. This is what the finished result looks like. Oh my gosh, I'm in love with this look. So there we go, cleaning up any craziness that happens there. So after you have your eyeshadow base down, you're going to want to take a fluffy brush. I am using the e.l.f. Blending Crease brush, I believe. It's the one that kind of looks like the Sigma brush, but it's flat, pinched in, but it's also fluffy. And going into the BH Cosmetics Dark Rose palette, the star of today's show, I'm going to actually be taking the blush in here, the hot pink blush, as a kind of transitional shade. So getting a little bit on the brush, and then tapping off the excess. Oh, wrong eye. Might help if I did it on the right side of my face, right? And I'm just going to use my mirror just because this hot pink, I don't want it getting everywhere. So taking the brush the wide way, so it goes wider through the crease. Just fluff that through. So now just brush off the extra on a tissue of whatever's on that brush, and then go into this shade, which is kind of the dark rosy color, which I believe is what this palette is named for. Pick that up on the same brush, tap off the excess, and then that is going to go into the crease as well, in the deeper parts of the crease. Feel free to pick up more if you need it. And I'm now turning it so it's a narrower brush, just so it doesn't completely cover that brighter pink. So then going in with a smaller brush, this is the e.l.f. contour brush. It's they have two different contour brushes. This is the little domed brush. I'm going to pick up this matte slightly rosy toned brown. Just pick up a little bit of that on the brush. Again, tap off the excess. And this is going to be kind of the defining color in the deepest part of the crease. And then whenever I do this step, it does tend to kind of lessen the effect of the pinks. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that blush bright pink and just blend over. Just to make sure you don't lose the pink. And then blend back over again with the darker shade as well. Darker pink. And then if you feel like it's getting like way too crazy down here, you can always clean it up a bit. So the next step is going to be to highlight your brow bone. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild eyeshadow in Brulee. Though one thing I want to mention, I'm using this large eyeshadow C brush. For some reason this comes in two sizes and I can't quite tell how to, like, you just have two different sizes. I'm using the larger of the two that I own. I will be using the smaller later. But taking that nice large eyeshadow C brush, picking up some of Brulee, and that is going to be the brow bone highlight shade. And all the way in and all the way out. This will also kind of help blend that pink into the skin as well. And for this step, use whatever eyeshadow matches your skin tone fairly well, or your favorite matte brow bone highlight shade. Mine happens to be close to my skin tone, which works out pretty well for me for blending like on the very outer edge. So after you've done that step, next is to go into, with your other eyeshadow C brush or any flat shadow brush. This is the smaller of the two, and I'm going to pick up this kind of pinky purpley shade here. And this is going to go all over the lid. Now this shade, interestingly enough, the mattes in this palette are about 10 times better than the shimmers, which is backwards for most drugstore brands of eyeshadow. But this is going to be the all over lid shade. And since we're going to be putting something on top of it, it doesn't need to be perfect, but you do want to get it all over the lid and as opaque as you can. At least have it even. Then, just to make sure, again, you don't lose that definition in the depths, I'm going to take that fluffy brush that we used before and use that in the dark brown. Just to make sure the purple is blended into the pink. And again, kind of just going back through the other shades as needed. So, a little bit of the darker rose shade and then a little bit of the pink. There we go. So now you could leave it like this if you like how this looks, but I like sparkle, so I'm going to take ColourPop's Dance Party. This is a gorgeous, glittery purple shade. It's got like pinky glitter and purpley glitter. And I'm just going to take some of this on my finger. And then you only need your finger for this step, which is nice. And I'm going to gently just press this all over the lid. Don't worry about it being blended out because you will go through and blend it again, so just get that pigment on there until you're happy with it and you're happy with the level of sparkle that you have. So once you have that ColourPop shade all over the lid, go back in with the e.l.f. contour brush and the brown shade and just kind of blend over where you the edge of where you placed that. It'll blend out the ColourPop shade and also re-up that definition one more time. Now, if you're like me and have a tendency to over-apply, just take the fluffy brush you used, Bare, and just make sure everything's blended. So the next step is going to be the lower lash line. Normally I do this after I finish my foundation and everything else, but I really wanted to make sure everything gets blended together. So one of the first things I'm going to do is actually take this e.l.f. small angled brush. Interestingly enough, I'm not using the angled side. I'm actually going to use the back of the brush, the tip, and this Essence gel liner, and I'm going to use this to line my waterline and tight line. How I do that is I dip the end into the gel liner, get a little bit on there. I just swirled it until I can see some on there. And then you actually just run that along your waterline. So I learned this trick years ago from somebody on YouTube who I cannot remember who they are. Rather than trying to use a brush to line your waterline with a gel liner, you can just use this bit, which can be irritating. Just using that smooth end works really well. And get that all the way up into the tight line as well. I'm not worrying about it being perfect up there because one nice thing about the gel liner is it will kind of go up into the tight line for me anyway. So the next step is going to be going back into our dark rose palette and using this e.l.f. small precision brush. It's just this little guy, it's kind of pointed. And you're going to take the dark purple shade here on the tip of the brush, tap off the excess, and that's going to go on the outer, like 2/3 of your eyelid, a lower lash line rather. And make sure you join it up with the shadow on the outer edge. And just gently brush off the purple and then go into the shimmering green that is in this palette. And that's going to go on the inner 2/3 and overlap so that it goes about halfway over your lash line. And add more as needed to get it to the desired intensity. So, the next step is going to be winged eyeliner. I'm going to do that off camera just because if I try and do eyeliner on camera, it always goes crazy. And then I will come back and show you what I'm putting on the rest, and I'll do the rest of my face as well. And I'll come back and show you which mascara I use and what I'm putting on the rest of my face. Alright, so I've done my eyebrows, my foundation, and also my winged eyeliner on the other eye and my mascara. For mascara, I used 2 from e.l.f. I used on my top lashes the 3-in-1 mascara. I love this stuff. And then on my lower lashes, I use the Lengthening and Volumizing Mascara in the waterproof formula. This is the only thing I use my lower lashes. They don't need much, so I just want to darken them up a little bit and have it not smudge everywhere, so that's why I use a waterproof one. For foundation, I used the Hard Candy Glamoflauge in the lightest shade, which is Porcelain. I love this stuff as well. And then under my eyes, I used the NYX Dark Circle Corrector and also the NYX HD Concealer in the shade Porcelain. I haven't used this in forever, so I picked one up recently to give it another go. I set my whole face with the NYX HD powder, and then I set under my eyes with the e.l.f. HD loose powder. So that's what I've got going on my face. For winged eyeliner, I did use the Physicians Formula Eye Booster. You could use the same gel eyeliner you want the tight line with. I just chose to use this because I have better control over this, and I wanted the eyeliner to be a specific shape. Now, you can see I've got kind of the fairly dramatic wing going on, but this is a dramatic look. So now I'm going to contour using my NYX blush in Taupe. This guy is the older formula, and I have hit pan on it. So for blush today, I'm going to use the ColourPop blush in between the sheets. It has that kind of rosy tone that I think will look lovely with this look. And I'm going to use an e.l.f. small stipple brush to apply it. And then for highlight, I'm going to use ColourPop's Fanny Pack. This is like a kind of white highlight shade. And I'm going to use this small brush from BH Cosmetics. It's like a little small angled brush, probably meant for blush or contour. So that is what I'm putting on my face. And then for lips, the first thing I need to do is take a clean tissue, because before I got started I scrubbed my lips and put a lip balm on. So and then for lips, I'm going to be using this Essence Longwear lipstick in the shade Wear Berries. And it's kind of a rosy plummy color, a berry color. And this has a nice kind of creamy finish. And then just to kind of amp it up a little bit, I'm going to kind of shade the outer edges with this Jordana lip liner in Silver Lilac. It's a very similar color, it's just a tiny bit darker. Just to create that little bit of definition, and it allows me to kind of make my lower lip look a little bit fuller. So now that I've got the lip color on, I have one final step to do just to brighten everything up. I'm going to take the ColourPop SuperShock shadow in Bites, which is a matte white, and that's e.l.f. small precision brush we used earlier. Just make sure there's nothing on it because this is white eyeshadow. Going to pick up a little bit of Bites, and this is going to be my inner corner highlight. You don't need to do this step if you don't want to. I just like the effect of a matte white inner corner highlight. And I connect it to the green, bring it up, and then I use my finger to make sure it's blended. Alright, so that is the final step. It's subtle, but I feel like it really does help brighten up my whole face. So, let me just adjust my bangs. They're not all weirdly tucked back, and this is the finished look. I really love the way this look turned out, and I rarely ever use that dark rose palette, so it was fun to play with that a little bit more too. If you guys liked this tutorial, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up. If there are any other tutorials you'd like to see from me anytime soon, let me know. I do have a Get Ready With Me coming up soon on actual Valentine's Day. I will be filming one. And that's all I have for you guys today. I'll talk to you soon. Bye!